Hey there, fellow developers. Welcome back to another exciting episode of 50 projects in 50 days with your favorite Frontend Genius. In today's video, we are going to tackle project number 9, that is To-Do List App. In this app, we are going to use three fundamental technologies of web development, that is HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So this is our to do app. We will create a one item like example coding. We will add this item. This item will show in the to do. If the coding is completed, this will show in the completed list. You can edit, completed yes. You can also delete the item. You can see we have given the box shadow to the input box here. We have given the border radius to this card. Also you can see the background gradient. So let's get started with the code. Alright guys, let's get jump right into it. First we will start with the HTML structure, laying the foundation of our app. We will set up a necessary containers, input fields and buttons that will allow you users to add, edit and delete their tasks. So let's get dive into the code of HTML. Wow, we have just completed our HTML file. Let's get understand what we have written in our HTML file. So this is the doc type. This is not a tag. This is useful for to tell browser that we are using the HTML5 version. This is the HTML tag that is giving the language we are using the English. This is our head tag, and in the head tag we are using title, meta and link tag. So these are the tags we are using in the head tag. So the first part is like the title of the to-do list. It tells us that it's a to-do app. Then there is a place where you can write new task you want to add to your list. You can think of it like a box where you put your tasks. There is also a button that says add to your list. So this is our button to add our task. Okay, and next there are two sections, like one for task that you still need to do and another for task that you have already completed. So these are the buttons to edit, these are the button to delete the task, these are our incompleted tasks, this is the ul and li, these are the list, and this is the completed task. Here are the block of HTML code that shows the completed task. So in the section task you will need to do, there are already two example tasks. Each task has a checkbox that you can mark when you finish the task. There is also a name for each task, like for example pay bills and go shopping. You can even edit the task name or delete the task if you want. In the section for completed tasks, there is a one example task that is already checked off as completed. It says see the doctor. Finally, there is a special part of code that makes everything work properly. It's like a brain of our to-do list app. It's written in another file called script.js, which is linked to HTML code. That's the basic explanation of this code of our HTML file. It's like a blueprint for creating a to-do list on a computer screen with places to add a new task, mark them as a completed, and manage them. So let's get started with our CSS. So guys, with the HTML structure in a place, it's time to bring our app to life with some stunning CSS styles. We will use modern design principle to create a clean and visual appealing interfaces that users will love. From custom fonts to beautiful transitions, our to-do list app will be a treat for the eyes. So guys, let's get started with our CSS file. So we have just completed our HTML and CSS code. Let's get understand what we have written in our CSS file. The first part of our code is about the body tag. This is show that how the whole page looks. It says that the background is our gradient. The radial gradient we have given our background. The text is dark gray and the font used called Lato. And it also makes the background have different shades of blue in the special pattern. The next part is about the container that hosts the to do app. This is our container class. It says that the container is a box with rounded corners and it has a light gray color. It also adds a shadow to make it look like it's floating above the page. The container is a specific size and is placed in the middle of the page. Then there is a part that says leads don't have any extra spaces or bullet points. So these are the our UL. Also, some parts of the code talk about buttons. We have given the input and the button to outline none. It says that the button don't have background or border. The next inside the button is a light gray color and the buttons are specific sizes. When you move your mouse over a button, the text color changes to darker gray. This is how the CSS code are responsible for that. The rest of the code talks about different elements in the to-do list like headings, input fields and task list. So these are the H3 heading, these are the label element, these are the input element. We have given the border to the input, background, and we have given the border radius also 6 px. So the input fields and task list, it says how they should look, like the color of the text, size of the font and spacing between things. So these are our task list CSS. These are for the completed. When we completed the task, this is the label. When we edit the task, then the CSS will apply this. Overall, the CSS code tells the computer how to make the to-do list look nice and organized with the specific colors, sizes and spacing. So this is what about the CSS code in our file. If we save this file and look in the browser, so this is how our project looks like. But there is also remaining our script file. We cannot add here right now to item because we didn't write our script yet. So guys, let's get started with our script file. Now that our app looks amazing, we need to make it functional. JavaScript will be the driving force behind our to-do list, enabling us to dynamic behavior and interactivity. We will create a function to handle tasks, prioritize them, mark them as a completed, and even filter them based on the different criteria. So let's get started with our JavaScript code. So guys, we have just written our JavaScript code, and let's get understand what we have written in our code. So first we are talking about the code selects certain parts of our web page by giving them names. It's like pointing at different things and saying their names out loud. The names are task input, this is task input, add button, incomplete task holder, completed task holder. These names help us keep track of these parts. Next, the code creates a function called create new task element. This function is like a magic spell that creates a new task for our to-do list. It takes a word as a ingredient and uses it to make it a task. The task has a different parts like checkbox, a label, and some buttons. So these are responsible for the create new task elements. Another one we will talk about there are another function called add task. This function help us to add a new task to our to-do list. It looks at what we wrote in a special box called task input. These are the task input and uses that as a name of our new task. If we didn't write anything, it doesn't do anything because we have given a condition of if. If the task string is empty string, then it returns undefined. That will it returns, it closes the function. Then there is a function called edit task. This function helps us to change the name of a task we already have. It looks at the task, and if we click on it, we can either change the name or see what the name is. The next function is delete task. So these are the delete task function. It helps us to remove a task from our to-do list. If we click on a special button next to the task, that task disappears. After that, there are two more functions called task completed and task incomplete. So these are the task completed function and these are the tasks incomplete. This function help us to mark a task as a done or not done. When we click on a checkbox next to a task, it either moves to a place where completed tasks go or go back to where incompleted tasks are. Then there is a function called bind task event. These are the function bind task event to respective elements. This function is like a helper that connects different action to a different parts of task. It says that when we click on the edit button, we should call the edit task function. When we click on the delete button, we should call the delete task function. And when we click on the checkbox, we should call either the task completed or task incomplete function. So these are the responsible for bind task events. After that, the code does some more things to connect everything together. So these are the for loops. It looks at the incompleted task and the completed tasks we already have uses the bind task event function to make sure that the right thing happen when we click on them. It also listen for a click on a button called add button, and when we click on it, it calls the add task function to add a new task. So these are then the last is add task event listener. So add button dot add event listener, when we click, So this function will call add task. So guys, this code helps us to create a to-do list on a web page and lets us add a task, mark them as a done or not done, edit their names, delete them when we want. It's like having a helper on the computer that keeps track of things we need to do. So guys, these are the responsible for our script.js file, thus our our JavaScript code. And there you have it guys, congratulations. In just a short amount of time, we have built a robust, visually stunning to-do list app. Now you can manage your tasks like a pro, staying organized and on a top of your to-do list. We will see our JavaScript, our to-do app, how it works on our browser. Let's add one item like HTML. Okay, it's working fine. Go to to-do. We want to edit, like we want to create CSS. Okay, it's just edited our item. We make them as a completed. It goes to the completed. Now we want it to delete. Let's click on the delete, and yes, that's it guys, we have deleted our item. So guys, I hope you enjoy this project as much as I did. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the Frontend Genius for more exciting web development content. Also, let me know in the comment box which projects you want to see next in our 50 projects in 50 days series. Thanks for watching, and remember, with HTML, CSS and JavaScript, the possibilities are endless. Keep coding, stay creative, and I will see you in the next video. Happy coding everyone. Please do coding while I am explaining this project to you. Just watching this video won't help you at all. Do it. Learn coding by doing it. That's the only rule to learn coding. That's it guys for today's. Let's meet in the next video.